Okay, let's dive into something really interesting. Have you ever read a phrase 100 times and you think you know exactly what it means, only to find out maybe you don't? We're going to explore a fascinating idea from a recent teaching about how words can get, well, drained of their meaning during translation, leaving behind what the source calls empty words.
This ancient warning right here is really our launching point. And what's so interesting is how the source we're looking at interprets this. It's not just a general warning like, hey, don't let people lie to you. It's seen as a much more specific alert about deception that could be hiding in the very words we think we can trust.
Right, so that's the big question, isn't it? What actually makes a word empty? Does it just mean it's useless? Not exactly. The idea is way more subtle. It's about how the original substance, the real juice of a word, gets lost in transit when it moves from one language and culture to a totally different one. So first, let's really get a handle on this core concept, this problem of empty words. And let's be super clear here. The argument isn't that the English language itself has a problem. The issue, according to this teaching, is when a specific translated word ends up being just a kind of hollow placeholder. It fills the space in a sentence, sure, but it's missing all that rich cultural meaning that the original Hebrew or Greek word had. The source uses this really powerful image of a pouring out process. And get this, the original Hebrew word for empty literally means to pour out. So, picture this. You have a word that's just brimming with deep cultural substance. Then the act of translation comes along and just pours all of that good stuff out, leaving behind an empty shell. A word that looks fine, but the original content is gone. Okay, so if words can be emptied out, is there a way to fill them back up? Well, according to this teaching, yes. And there's a specific method for it, a process of investigation that's called reproof. Now, this is way more than just looking a word up in a dictionary. It's more like being a linguistic archaeologist. You really have to dig deep, go back to the historical and cultural soil where a word first sprouted to really get what it meant to the people who actually spoke it. All right, this is where it gets really interesting. Let's see this reproof method in action. We're going to look at a word you've probably heard before, circumspect. So in this verse from Exodus, the command is to be circumspect. Now today, if I hear that, I'm thinking, okay, be cautious, be wary, don't take risks. But is that what it really meant back then? And boom, here's that pouring out process we were just talking about. Our modern idea of being circumspect is pretty passive, right? But the Hebrew root shamar is completely different. It's active. It means to build a hedge, like with thorns, to actively guard and protect something. It's a job, a duty. I mean, that's not just a little tweak in meaning. It completely transforms the instruction. It goes from being a suggestion to feel a certain way, cautious, to a direct command, to do something, to be an active guardian. That's a huge difference. Let's do another one. This is another really powerful example, this time with the word paths, from one of the most famous psalms out there.
Yeah, that line. We can all probably say it from memory. And when we do, we picture a straight road, a righteous journey forward. But the argument here is that the word paths is another one of these empty words.
But when we go back and do that reproof, when we look at the Hebrew root magal, the meaning is just, wow. It's not a linear track at all. It describes something circular, like the trench a wagon wheel makes in the dirt as it goes round and round. Or you could think of it like the cycles of a calendar, the recurring feast day. So when you plug that restored meaning back in, the whole image just flips. The passage isn't about walking down a straight, one-time road anymore. It's about living inside these recurring, dependable cycles of righteousness. The journey is cyclical, not linear. It's a completely different picture. Now, these deep dives into language are pretty fascinating, but this is not just some academic game. The source we're examining makes it really clear that the stakes for getting the words right are incredibly high. To get a sense of the potential for things to get diluted, just look at the vocabulary size. The original Hebrew scriptures are built on a really small but incredibly potent vocabulary of just under 10,000 words. Now compare that to some English translations, which can use up to 750,000 words. When you expand the vocabulary that much, from less than 10,000 to 750,000, Well, you can just imagine how easy it is for precision to get lost. The original meaning can get lost in all that noise. And this is exactly why the stakes are so high. From this point of view, empty words are genuinely dangerous. They can actually lead people down the wrong path, they can hide the original instructions, and they can completely block a full understanding of the text, basically corrupting the mind from the straightness of that original message.
So all of this really leaves us with a pretty big question to think about. If translation can so fundamentally change core ideas in texts that are foundational for millions of people, where else might this be happening? You have to wonder what empty words are shaping our understanding of politics, of science, or even just the conversations we have every single day. It's a powerful reminder that the words we use are never, ever
truly empty.